All right, we're back on the Scare Value podcast. It is December 6th. That seems right.
What, are you trying to future date this thing? Because you think you know when it's coming out?
I mean, it's December now. Look outside. I see Santa Claus. I see the Frosty the Snowman.
That's a bumble, I'll have you know, sir. That is no Frosty the Snowman.
Seems to be a reindeer bending over a Santa Claus, if I can see.
That's a reindeer flying an airplane that's taking a penguin for a ride. And I think it says Polar Express or North Pole or some such nonsense on the front of the plane. And I've got a new one coming. What is it? God damn. We just ordered it. It is, I think the kids picked a cat in a stocking. Not my favorite front yard blow up thing for Christmas.
Oh, you see front yard blow up things? Am I having a stroke?
Uh-oh. You're the only one who knows how to operate this equipment.
Anywho,
we
have big plans for the rest of December, and then we had this 1 week where we had to come up with something to do.
This is my after Thanksgiving mashed potato mashup.
There you go. That's what I'm going to call it.
That's what it is.
It needed a title, and now we've got one.
It's every little bits of nooks and crannies. We were supposed to watch Cobweb, Christine, and something else. Oh, the Psycho remake, but that goes against I wanted to have an episode sponsored by the letter C. Which is why I ate Crunch Berries for breakfast. Captain Crunch Berries.
The Psycho remake can be sponsored by the letter C, as in it's crappy.
There you go. See, I had a whole theme. Where's Sesame Street? Aren't they gone now? We could be the new one. The new Sesame Street.
They are gone, but I think there's a movie coming out, and they're trying to figure out a way to reimagine the series. I don't know what you have to reimagine about a street where puppets teach kids how to read.
That was on for like 100 years with no problems. Until Max got a hold of it.
There was one problem in the 80s when Mr. Hooper died, and it destroyed my childhood.
That was a real learning moment for a lot of us who were of that generation.
Yes, it was. I still think about him all the time.
I got to say, I didn't really learn anything because I barely remember it. I was like, people die. What are you going to do?
Then you learned.
I guess so.
That was the resolution of the episode. Big Bird's like, oh, all right.
But it still haunts you, though, so slow learner over there.
But then he started seeing the Snuffleupagus, and no one else could see him. Remember when no one else could see the Snuffleupagus?
I thought that was the way it's been a minute since I've seen Sesame Street. People can see him now that are not Big Bird shaped.
Well, the show doesn't exist anymore, but there was a period of time where people finally did discover the Snuffleupagus was real.
That seems to take away the fun of Big Bird having a mental illness.
See, now you're happy it's canceled.
Part of that cancel culture I've been hearing about.
Yeah, well, they said some things about Hamas that people didn't agree with.
That's how you get fired from Scream, right?
That's what I understand.
I really don't know enough.
I don't understand what happened. I don't know anything. Anywho, we did watch Cobweb for this.
I did not watch Christine.
I did not watch Christine either because it's not. We're recording this early enough. It's not the anniversary yet.
Oh, it's. I think it might be the only John Carpenter movie I haven't seen, but I saw it when I was a little kid, and I swear to God, it was John Travolta who was in it. But
we've had this discussion.
I know we have, and I saw a picture. He looks kind of like John Travolta. That's why, whoever the actor is.
I famously haven't seen The Thing.
Yes.
So these are the two I haven't seen.
Okay, you never saw Christine? Maybe as a kid?
Nope.
Okay. Wow. All right, that's 2 movies.
Yep. I will get to it by December 9th, I think is the anniversary. I'll get to it by then.
Of Christine? Well, the Thanksgiving mashed potato mashup is where we should have been airing that.
Probably.
We'll have to save it for next Thanksgiving.
But we're going to talk about Cobweb. We're going to talk about the Psycho remake. We're going to have Ken call in from Taiwan and yell at us
Our
for all of the
correspondent.
things that we've done.
Yeah, yeah, we have a talking to a coming. Talk to me. He was here for that episode, if I recall.
I will say that later in December, we have the Christmas Spooktacular, where we still know that you've picked It's a Wonderful Knife.
Oh, where you, Kitty, and I have all picked a movie, and we are going to make each other watch them, Christmas themed.
In theory, the weeks have gone by, still just you and I have picked a movie.
Well, I've got mine. It's a Wonderful Knife.
And mine is Better Watch Out.
Keep in mind, mine isn't done, like, this isn't a holiday classic or anything, not a childish or childhood memory that I
Is Better
care
Watch
about.
Out one that I don't know about?
No, the, whatever the hell movie I picked. Jesus. I just picked it.
It's a Wonderful Knife.
It's a Wonderful Knife. I've never seen it, and I want to watch it, and you say it's kind of fun. So.
It's a Christmas-themed horror movie.
Right.
As is Better Watch Out. The more time that goes on without Kitty telling us her pick, it's just going to end up being Violent Night because you're not going to have time to watch another movie.
Well, it's either that or Die Hard. I believe those were the 2 front runners.
Well, I love Die Hard.
It's a Christmas movie. I would have picked Gremlins if we hadn't just watched both the Gremlins within the last 4 months.
I know.
I almost picked it again.
I'm kind of ready for another Gremlins watch.
Gremlins, it's good stuff.
Maybe next Christmas we'll do a Gremlins watch along.
I had Gremlins 2 on for Halloween. That was the background on while kids were eating candy and such.
Mm-hmm. So before Ken calls in to put us in our place about daring to talk about Sleepaway Camp without him.
His movie, his movie of choice, I guess.
And being in the theater as he texted you that he was watching, he'd seen Thanksgiving.
Which I said, hey, we're going to watch Thanksgiving and try to do a podcast about it.
Yeah.
Impeccable timing.
So let's begin with, I was going to say that, yes, we have the Christmas Spooktacular next week. The week after will be the Exorcist Watch Along for the 50th anniversary. And the week after will be the Scare Value Awards, and that'll bring 2023 to a close. But the fun doesn't stop there, Pete.
It started?
Well, that's why it's not stopping there.
Okay.
Because it didn't technically ever start.
Bullet dodged.
We have some big plans for 2024.
And the pants to match.
Including, but not limited to, finally opening up that time capsule to 1996 through 1998 and watching the movie Night Watch.
Ooh, man, I forgot all about Night Watch, but I saw her in the hallway.
Oh, what button is it?
Ooh,
I don't know which button it
there's
is.
4 buttons. You're telling me you have a sound clip of you and McGregor somewhere on your...
Sure.
That ain't it.
Fuck.
Hey!
That ain't it. That's it? I guess it's not on there.
But that did bring up the fact that we haven't done the Nic Cage zone yet.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you want today?
You don't want to save that for Ken?
Oh, I got plenty for Ken, too. There's enough Nick to go around. So what do you want today? You want
Night Watch.
something from the NC... go ahead and tell me your little Night Watch.
Night Watch is a movie that only 2 people in the entire world have been looking forward to watching for the last 26 years.
Did it ever come out in the theater?
I told you it did.
I listened to
and
you.
you don't believe me. And I can't
still
prove
don't
that
believe
it did.
you.
So there's nothing. That's the end of that conversation.
So
every
I
time.
win.
Sure.
Again.
Sure. So
Point
we've been
Pete.
waiting since December 96 to see this movie. There's been nothing stopping us. It just has never happened. So one day we're going to finally watch this and talk about it on the podcast.
Something has clearly stopped us because it's been 20-something years.
Yeah. But we're going to work 2024. I resolve.
Don't
We
make
will watch
promises.
it. I'm going to pound the table. We will watch it in
No
2024.
new taxes.
We will watch it in 2024. Some of it need taxes. What else is
you-
going to pave the roads?
Do you think he said...
When
When he
I've
said,
just been fired from Scream 8.
do you think no new taxes was spelled K-N-O-W? He was just telling us that we need to get used to new taxes,
Yes.
right?
I do think that. This has been Meet the Press.
All
Give me your Nic Cage.
right, what do you want? You want Nic Cage news or you want a knick-knack fact? Because you had a very fancy knick-knack fact off mic earlier, which I don't remember, but man, you should have been recording.
Hervé Villachez played Knick Knack in The Man with the Golden Gun, and that is a Knick Knack fact.
I see it's not written down on my sheet of paper, so I dispute your knick-knack fact claims.
I will take what was the other one?
The Nic Cage News Network. All Nick, all Cage.
Yeah, I'll take Nic Cage news.
Nic Cage News. Ooh. Well, you know what? I'll give you one not even off the paper because I just saw it. Apparently, because he's turning 60. Oh, yeah, we got that episode coming up in 2024. Is Nicolas Cage's birthday, everybody.
Yeah, we're going to have the face-off episode.
Well, apparently, the Nic Cage match.
Yeah, Nic Cage. There's so many ways to take it. I don't even know what to call it.
Where we put
The Annie bracket.
we have brackets of Nic Cage performances, and they all face off against each other until we declare one Nic Cage performance the best.
And we put them in the Annie bracket.
And then they go to the Annie bracket because she is the best character in all of the Halloweens, even better than Paul Rudd.
I just fact checked my Hervé Villachez thing. I was correct.
That's
Make
good.
sure every piece of that was right.
Here, let me fact check my Nic Cage facts, my knick-knack facts. See, I don't even remember my own pieces. Nope, it's not on there, so you're still wrong. Anyway, so his 60th birthday is coming up, and he says he might do less movies because he wants to spend time with his daughter. What kind of nonsense is that? There's no reason to stop making movies. I have kids. I don't want to. I'd rather watch Nic Cage movies than hang out with my kids.
How will we sustain ourselves on 7 Nic Cage movies a year alone?
That's not enough. Although that was the most he ever did in a year. Do I have to pull back out my quizzes where I wrote down how many years in a row he made 7 movies, which was the most he ever made in a year? It was like 7 years. Ooh, 7 times 7. That's math.
This has been your waste of time.
Well,
You
that
want
was
to
my-
start with Cobweb or Psycho? You've never seen Psycho.
I've never seen. Well, I saw the original Psycho. I never saw the remake with Vince Vaughn. And what year did that come out?
No, 25 years ago,
Don't make me math. God, didn't
1998.
you hear my 7 times 7? I already hurt my brain.
1998.
So it was 98. That was the height of Vince Vaughn being super popular because he had Maid and Swingers.
I don't know when his peak was. I'm going to guess later with Wedding Crashers and
No, I think he was riding.
Wedding Crashers, Dodgeball. Those movies were all hits. I think that was his peak.
I don't know.
Call in with when the Vince Vaughn peak was.
Call in. When did he peak? It's not now. I don't think he's peaked anymore. Is he doing anything?
He was great in
anywhere? In Freaky, I haven't seen Freaky yet.
He was great in Freaky.
Doesn't start with the letter C though, so that one doesn't count.
He gets to play both the silent serial killer and the scared little girl. It's pretty great. He's equally good at both. Actually, he's much better as the little girl. It's hilarious.
Okay. All right. It's on my list somewhere. Mm-hmm. Eventually, I'll get to it.
Directed by Christopher Landon, who is directing the Scream 7 with whatever cast shows up.
I'm telling you, you can just stop. Didn't they just make a movie that we talked about that they buried away the John Cena?
Yeah, they might make that come out somehow.
I would like to. Sounds fun.
So the Psycho remake, deep breath. So
it's not good, from my understanding.
How do I begin? I put the review up on Monday. I had a lot of things to say about it. I'd like to preface this by saying that the purpose of the Scare Value podcast and website, even though they're two wildly different things, there's a
website?
There's a little bit more professionalism going on scarevalue.com.
That's the podcast, right?
Even though we cover all horror movies, we aren't looking to shit on movies. That's not the point. The point is that we love horror movies and we want to give them an examination. This is more the website of them through the context of like a critical analysis through the context of the history of horror, what it tries to do, what it's commenting on. Occasionally with new releases, you end up with a real stinker and you have no choice but to be negative. De-influencer is the obvious. I didn't know that was going to be.
The one thing that you can't be nice to.
Well, Pete, it's no longer the lowest reviewed movie in scarevalue.com.
Ooh, what is?
Psycho Remake.
Really? Congratulations, Psycho Remake. You've earned your C to join the Day of C.
As a rule, I try to respect everything that somebody creates, even if it's terrible. And I mean, objectively terrible.
Because they did something and we haven't.
Yes. You get like a 1 out of 5 just for being a movie. You made a movie. It's kind of hard to do lower. I'm not convinced Gus Van Sant made a movie. I don't know that he even accomplished that simple feat that I watched De-Influencer and many other bad movies do.
Then what was it that he put up there and you watched?
Well,
did other people watch it? Did it do well?
I don't know. I haven't thought about the movie in 25 years because I know that it's terrible. I watched it again.
So you did watch it again?
It's worse than I remembered.
Did you see it in the theater?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Psycho is one of my favorite movies. And I don't know why this exists. I'm no closer to uncovering what the purpose of this movie is. It's not a shot-for-shot remake, as they say. It just is taking the same script, the same score, the same title sequence, putting new actors in it, and just remaking the movie. It's mostly shot-for-shot, where he tries to do it. But what's the point of that? I've never discovered. All it lets you do is watch it and go, well, that's wrong. And if you're starting off with, it's wrong, then what are you doing? Now, this is the most important part. The movie doesn't comment on itself, the original, the changes in horror in the 29 years, 30 years, whatever it was in between movies, 60 to 98, what is that, 38 years? It doesn't comment on the change, where the state of horror. It doesn't have anything to say about anything. Why does it exist? Why? It's like putting actors in a stage play of a famous thing and saying, here's the thing we made. But it's a movie. I don't understand why it's there.
You did math at me in the middle of that, and I blacked out. I remember when you went and were talking about it 20 years ago, 25 years ago, you had said his performance, Vince Vaughn's, is very obvious that he's the bad guy. Like, there's no mystery, there's no sympathy for the character. It's straight up, oh yeah, I'm a bad guy. And it kind of takes away anything that would make you want to watch.
So the reason that the original Psycho works so well for me is that it presents you two characters that are kind of the two sides of the same coin, you think. And when one of them's murdered, you have no choice but to follow the other one. And you spend a lot of the movie worried that he's going to get caught cleaning up after his mother and that they're going to get caught. It's like, that's a weird place to be put in any movie. But in 1960, it's goddamn revelation of storytelling. That now I'm siding with the killer because I don't know he's the killer. This movie, because he's so nice and genial and kind and trapped, and you feel bad for him. In this movie, it's just a goddamn psychotic person talking to you going, I'm a fucking psychotic person. It's the weirdest choice. He goes big on the performance, whereas Anthony Perkins goes real small.
It was very subtle.
He's amazing in it. And then Vince Vaughn, who I like in a lot of things, I loved him in Freaky. He's in this movie, he's just like, he basically has a sign around his neck saying, hey, I killed people. And like when you watch William H. Macy plays the detective in this one. That's the other thing. This cast is incredible, but we'll get to that in a second.
I like William H. Macy.
You're going to like a lot of people in this movie. William H. Macy plays the detective, and in the original movie, when Arbogast is interrogating Anthony Perkins, you're like, oh, he's going to catch him, and you're kind of worried he's going to catch him, even though that's a weird place to be put in. In this one, I don't believe there's a chance that this detective spent 1 second talking to Vince Vaughn and wasn't like, you have to come with me. Like, it's clear what's happened here. I've just looked into your eyes and I know that you're playing this as if we all know the secret of the movie.
A classic case of bad detectoring.
Yeah, and so the cast, Julianne Moore's in the movie. Anne Heche plays the Janet Leigh part. William H. Macy's in the movie. Viggo Mortensen's in the movie. Robert Forster shows up for a minute.
Who's Robert Forster? I know the name. I don't remember the actor.
I'm not stopping to explain every...
Don't say names at me then that I might recognize.
But the cast is incredible. It's really like all the best independent movie actors of the time. And they're not on the same page. It's the best way I can put it. Julianne Moore's fine. Anne Heche fine. Vince Vaughn off in La La Land. Viggo Mortensen might actually be better than the guy that played the guy in the original movie because that guy had no charisma. But Viggo Mortensen also kind of like mumbles through his performance. But he's charismatic and interesting at least. So like he might actually be the one thing that's improved upon.
Okay. And it was Gus Van Sant who directed?
Yes.
Okay.
And he followed up Good Will Hunting with this, I think.
Oh, that's where I was going with the next question. But you said, don't make me explain who every person is. But I don't remember what he did.
Maybe it was before Good Will Hunting.
I remember the name, but I don't remember anything. I don't think I've seen anything he's done. Because I never saw Good Will Hunting. I never saw the Psycho remake. And those are the two things you've told me. So those are the two things that I know.
He must have made something else we know. It was his direct follow-up to Good Will Hunting. He made My Own Private Idaho. He made Milk.
Hey, starring Keanu Reeves. Not Milk.
No.
Milk stars Missing Children.
He made To Die For with Nicole Kidman, which I think is a great movie.
I like To Die For. Yeah. I have seen that one. It's got Joaquin Phoenix, I think.
It does. A very young Joaquin Phoenix.
Jinx.
So, yeah, the Psycho remake, if somebody ever wants to explain to me why this exists, it's not an experiment that makes any sense because experiments are to try to elicit some kind of reaction. It's just putting the things you know, doing it differently so that when you watch it, you sit there and every scene, every line that's a little off, every angle that's a little off, everything about it is just a little off. And not for any purpose I could ever figure out. If there was a reason to do it, I thought it would reveal itself after 25 years. It doesn't have anything to say.
It's literally nothing to say. It's just a weird... Now, did this come out... You know how Hollywood tends to come out with remakes like in spurts?
No. Yeah,
was this in the middle? No, this was just an outlier all by itself?
No. The remake really began in 2003 with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So this is 5 years earlier. It's a one-off. And it's unlike all the other ones. It's pitching itself as being a shot-for-shot remake, even though it's technically not. It is taking the same kind of storyboards and just redoing it. But it doesn't look exactly the same. It doesn't time out the same. It's not a full recreation. He throws in... This is one of the other weird things about it. He throws in weird extra moments. Like, I guess they're supposed to show us inside Norman's mind sometimes. He also puts Vince Vaughn masturbating behind the... Did they show
the nipple?
No.
Isn't that the thing with the first one?
No.
The original? Yes? No? I don't remember. This is the only thing I know.
No. They didn't show it in either movie.
Yeah, they did.
No.
Or maybe they did. That's the question.
They didn't. People have broken down the movie many times.
I haven't done it yet, so maybe...
Anyway, the things he adds in are like when Vince Vaughn's murdering, he'll throw in like a quick 1 second
masturbation scene,
a quick 1 second shot of like a cow on a road. It's weird. It doesn't make sense. This is what I mean. The movie has no purpose, and I've never seen a movie with no purpose. The Influencer had a purpose. It failed, but I respect it.
It tried.
I respect
something.
It. The Psycho remake has no. It has no soul. It has no heart and it has no point. And I've never seen a movie like that. But I didn't give it a 0. I give it a 0.5 because I think everyone should watch it.
What did The Influencer get?
A 1. I said you get a 1 just for being a movie, and I can't justify that this is a movie.
Ooh, take that, Gus Van Sant.
I don't think he's going to hear this, and I don't think he's going to care. But I would like him, if he does ever hear this, to explain to me what he thought he was doing, so maybe I could look at it in a different way. But in 25 years, I never heard anybody explain what he thought he was doing.
I haven't heard anyone talk about that movie in 25 years until you brought it up today.
People would like to forget it, but I never forget.
You're like an elephant you are. Do you ever forgive?
Who are you?
Oh, man.
All right, let me get into Cobweb.
Cobweb. I watched that movie.
Yeah, so did I.
This was a movie that I went into completely blind. Like I knew.
How did you watch it then?
I listened really hard. Another movie I went into completely blind just recently, and I forgot about till right now, was Trolls 3. Of the two movies I saw in the last weekend, Trolls 3 and...
Oh, Trolls Band Together?
Yes, Trolls Band. I even forgot the name of it. Good Lord, I like Cobweb so much better.
Yeah.
Cobweb was... I don't even know how to describe it, because having no expectations walking into this movie, I didn't know what to expect.
Well, I'm going to give you...
What are you going to give me?
A classic
Christmas
Pete
present?
recap.
Ooh, a classic Pete recap. All right.
I'm going to recap the plot in the style of my co-host Pete, who I didn't introduce this week. That's Pete.
It was pretty good.
And Brian. No, that's a review. That's a Pete review.
Oh, okay.
This is a what happened in this movie. A kid with a fucking stupid name is bullying a cool kid with an awesome name, and then this evil monster pushes this cool kid down the stairs and then kills his parents and then unleashes a demon to fucking kill everybody else and all the people he doesn't like. And then the movie ended very abruptly.
The bully was named Brian?
Yes.
I missed that. I was busy sitting there. Look at Pete. That's a cool
character's
kid.
name is Peter. The cool kid that buys him a pumpkin, his name's Brian.
He bought the pumpkin because he destroyed the other one. It was a punishment. Is that how you think friendship works?
Listen, you watch movies the way you watch movies, and you've been my friend for 29 years. You know that's how I think friendship works.
Well, you did buy me that pumpkin.
Yeah. So, did you see something different in that movie? That's how I saw it play out.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, right.
Pretty good summary. It was a pretty good movie. Pretty good summary.
I thought it was a really good, should have been released in October horror movie.
It came out in the middle of the summer, right?
Came out on Barbenheimer weekend.
You had to drive to Niagara Falls to go watch that, if I recall correctly.
Playing in one theater that I've never heard of, I'd never been to before, many miles from here, and is the only one within like 500 miles of Buffalo.
And it had, who do I like from Party Down?
Lizzie Kaplan.
Lizzie Kaplan. Yep. I thought the performances were solid through this movie.
I enjoyed everything about it. It's not trying to be a big blockbuster movie. It's a very simple, spooky horror movie.
And your summary pretty much summed it up, but the atmosphere in that, as I was watching it, I didn't know where I was going or where the movie was going or what I'm supposed to like. Is this just a story about child abuse? Because boo, I don't like it because that kid was very clearly.
That's why I had a boner.
That's what I did with that pumpkin you gave me. Jack-o'-lanterns don't carve themselves. You need the tools. But you got the child abuse happening, which I guess it turns out, right? They were terribly abusive parents. Like, you don't lock a kid in the basement.
Sure.
And as near as I can tell, so it turns out, spoiler alert, it turns out that there is something living in the hall, in the walls of the house.
Yes.
And it's the parent's first child. And they spend the movie, you're basically trying to figure out, is the kid being abused, or is there really something in the walls? What's happening?
So he's hearing things in the walls, whispering to him at night.
Yeah, or just knocking. And the parents are shifty as fuck. They are so shady the whole time. And then
his father is the guy from that show I never watched but comes up all the time. The Boys.
The Boys? I saw the first season of The Boys.
He's the guy that everyone talks about in that show that I don't watch.
I thought everyone talked about Judge Dredd.
No, I think everyone talks about Homelander.
That's him?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, I guess it is. Mm-hmm. I spent the whole movie trying to figure out who he was.
Really good in it. It's the only thing I've ever seen him, and he was really good in this.
In this? Yeah, he was fine.
And Lizzie Kaplan's always great.
And
teacher was good.
The teacher, whoever she was really good.
Really overstepping her bounds, though. I didn't disagree with the premise that she should be stopping going to these people's house.
Well, I'm sorry. There was a drawing of pure black with a kid in a bed and the words "help me" written above it. I think if I were a teacher, I might need to go talk. How terrible.
Yeah, you'd go talk to the school counselor so they can deal with it, and you don't go as a substitute teacher on day 3 to a person's house.
That was a little above and beyond what's needed as a teacher. Yes. But if we're just looking at it because you still don't know if it's just in a movie, again, I assumed it was horror related somehow, but I'm like, oh no, this is like the Babadook kind of thing where we're just looking at abuse. It's not a...
So the twist in the movie comes when he just flat out murders his parents. He poisons them.
At whatever in the walls is telling him to do, which you don't know if it's real or not yet.
Yeah, and there's a great moment where, as Lizzie Kaplan's dying, she looks at him and says, "Don't let her out." And then you realize, oh no, this movie's gonna have a thing. Well, I really enjoyed that moment a lot.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, it's all atmosphere up until that point.
Yeah.
And then...
Slow build.
It's fun, but I'm like, child abuse, there's something. Is this going to be the classic misdirect where the parents are actually not the good guys because they're terrible parents, but are they keeping something really, there is something really bad that they're trying to protect the kid from. And I realized as they're dying from the rat poison that the kid fed them. By the way, when Homelander there said, "Oh, it tastes like cinnamon," I sat there going, "Why have I heard the word cinnamon lately?" Turned out that was what he had told this kid that's what rat poison is like earlier when they had been poisoning rats. But I realized there was like half an hour of movie left. I'm like, oh, there is something. There has to be something in there because you don't have the possible bad guys vomiting their guts out on the kitchen table without there being an Act 3.
So Act 3, the hero of the movie, Bryan, and his family come to the house so they give them some victims. And this evil thing quickly dispatches them in horrific ways. It's pretty great.
So the premise, right? Like the parents had a first child. And it was disfigured, as near as I can tell. So they said, logically, let us lock it in the walls.
There was something evil about it, too.
I see. She ended up...
There was kids that disappeared?
There was one kid that disappeared, and the body... Peter found the body in the backyard. Why were there so many goddamn pumpkins in their backyard, by the way?
I don't know the answer to that. But the parents didn't kill that kid.
No. Did the girl have a name that was locked in the walls?
Remember.
Peter's sister. Well, Peter's sister... We'll call her Nicole because that's my sister's name.
There you go.
So there you go, Nicole. So Nicole killed this child who came trick-or-treating on Halloween because there was a story about a girl who had gone missing years before.
Yeah.
So the parents then decided to lock her up into the walls. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. So she was kind of bad, I guess. But maybe she wasn't.
She murdered a child, so yes.
But you assume because that was just a few years ago, she wasn't like a toddler. They tried raising her in their terribly abusive ways. Like they weren't good parents.
Are you sure they were like that before her?
They could have been. Like
this was a very protective from the world parents at this point.
Oh, at the point of the movie starting? That
yes.
They were, but maybe they were normal parents. Why wouldn't they go say like, hey, this is my child? It seems like that first child was a secret. Mm-hmm. So, and based on their past behavior, or their movie that we see how they treat Peter, I'm assuming that they're just shitty people to begin with.
I'm just saying that maybe the first child affected the way they treat Peter.
100%.
Maybe it's because, they did give him that shitty name before they knew.
But I'm maintaining that I think that they're bad parents to begin with.
I don't think they're going to win Parents of the Year. That's true.
Well, not now. Posthumously they might.
The point is they aren't the worst thing in that house.
I think they helped create it, though.
I'm not sure I think it undoes the point of the movie.
No, I think because the movie is weird. Again, first part, all atmosphere, all everything. And then you get a home invasion movie. You get a monster movie. Yeah. You get this big, there's this, a mashed potato mashup.
And then a very abrupt ending.
It was very abrupt. And you know what? I actually saw something online. So it ends with them getting away and they lock Nicole back up in the pit in the basement because that's how you solve all of our problems. Put it in a hole.
Mm-hmm. He learned from his parents.
And I guess the original, or one of the endings was that, that the teacher is killed by Nicole and Peter's put in the pit and that's how it ends.
That's a better ending. And then she gets out. It's a better ending.
I don't know. But back to your original point with when the home invaders come, Bryan and all his cousins, who are all grown adults. I don't think there was another child there.
Just picture the O'Doyle family from Billy Madison.
Yep, that's them.
That's what they are.
They put on those creepy masks, like the animal masks from that other movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're next. Yep. And they are, as you said, dispatched in short order by apparently ripped in half, like the super strength that Nicole has, and she's got the classic,
Which goes back to my point. She's not just a little girl that was somehow changed by their parenting. She's a supernatural evil thing.
Okay, but keep in mind, this is problems I had with this movie. The tonal shift. It goes from this really creepy, slow build atmosphere to
that's the part I liked.
Right? Oh yeah. But I like my monster movies.
I like the switch. I like how it becomes over the top at the end. I just don't like that the ending's so abrupt.
The only thing keeping her in the walls is a giant grandfather clock that she can't move. And she's managed to poke a hole through a wall to talk to Peter, but she hasn't ever bothered to get out of the walls any other way.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that the parents I still had some control over her by tormenting her and being awful, awful parents. So she had that. She couldn't kill them herself, but she could convince Peter to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess people like their parents.
No, Lizzie Kaplan's scarier in this movie than the entity is, though.
Lizzie Kaplan, both of them are. Both the parents.
I've seen fathers like that. I didn't think he was that far out of the usual, just heightened up a little bit, whereas she was creepy. Like, when he's trying to call for help, and then the camera pans over, and it's just like a pure perfect horror thing, and she's just standing there staring at him like, you're the creepiest thing in this movie. Really good job by Lizzie Kaplan.
She had weird, jerky movements. She had, like, the big eye stare at you a lot. Yes. I like Lizzie Kaplan. I thought she was really good.
She was really good. I didn't see her in that Hulu Stephen King TV show. She plays Annie Wilkes.
I'm shaking my head at you.
What's the name of his production company?
Misery.
Production company.
Who's Annie Wilkes?
Where's the shit all set?
Castle Rock.
That's the name of the show was.
Oh,
Annie
okay.
Wilkes' Misery.
Oh, that was like a little anthology.
Yeah, I didn't
thing.
see her in it. I heard she was great in it. This is the first time I've seen her in a horror thing. She's fantastic in it.
And Homelander, and all those people who died to the monster. And it was a spider-based monster because she learned to crawl from the spiders and the rats, and she had that Exorcist kind of spider walk thing happening a couple of times.
The spider walk in The Exorcist is backwards, so that is incorrect.
She didn't walk backwards in this?
I don't think so.
I don't know. She's a spider.
Yeah, she learned to adapt to her surroundings.
Which was a pit and then the walls of a house.
But they got some of those details right. So she had super long hair because who was going to give her a haircut? She's super pale because she's never seen the sun. And she's awkwardly bent because she's got to live in this tiny crawl space.
And she had super long nails because she's got to hunt for her rats. Although it seemed like they were taking care of her still, too.
They had to feed her.
Yeah. Like, because Lizzie Kaplan came out of that. She was put in the closet back with like a water pitcher. So giving her food and water. That's nice.
Well, that's their daughter.
That they liked. And her face, I'll grant you, was disfigured. There was a giant...
Oh, so it's okay. They put her in the walls.
I'm not saying that's the best. I still think that her parents helped contribute. Maybe if they had been loving parents normal parents.
I'm sure that they did.
I don't think so.
I think you're missing that she was evil either way.
See, I think that she was forced into that.
You think they forced her to be a supernatural killing monster?
Yes.
All right.
I think she could have been a supernatural killing monster for good.
It's a lesson
if they hadn't locked her in the walls.
Be good parents or they'll just get supernatural powers.
Have you seen mine?
They don't have any powers.
No, because I'm a good parent. I'm an okay parent. I feed them right. Oh, no. Oh, no. They're coming to get me, aren't they?
I don't know. Where are they today?
The walls?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know where these kids go?
Yeah.
They do stuff.
This has been a 7 or 8 month long thing just for me to ask where these kids are.
They're never around. They were around one time.
They were around one time.
Conveniently in the basement.
Yeah.
That's where I keep them chained.
Sam would get out.
They don't fight the rats or the spiders. They know the rats and the spiders get first dibs on food.
So Cobweb was, pretty good.
Yeah, expecting nothing. Did it do well with it?
Of course not. It came out the Barbenheimer weekend in a theater.
Is there any talk? Because I only talk to you. I don't talk to people. Like, is it one of those, like, so what's the one I've been hearing about? Where Evil Lurks?
When Evil Lurks. It's a good movie.
I've been hearing that that's a good one.
It's on Shudder.
Okay. But I keep hearing that name pop up on the internet because apparently I search enough things now that aren't Pornhub related. So that
Nic Cage related?
That aren't. I get a lot of. That's how I found out about Nic Cage turning 60. By the way,
yeah,
I
told you that on this podcast.
Yeah, not from the podcast. I learned about it because it popped up in one of my feeds.
That'll be a January episode coming up.
What was I going to say? Oh, there was a Best Boy.
Oh yeah, give me the Best Boy.
I'll give you the Best Boy. The Best Boy for Cobweb was Stanislav Dimitrov.
Ooh,
right. But then I looked because there's a Best Boy grip. And the Best Boy grip was Desilav Dimitrov. And then I'm like,
related?
I'm like, are they related? I'm like, or is this one of those things? And I did a little more research because there were a lot of Dimitrovs on there. It's a Bulgarian name, so I'm guessing this was. And the whole credits are all Bulgarian names. Dimitrov is a surname, and it means son of Demeter. Mm-hmm. So that's the way. But if it's a girl, because there were some of them, it was Dimitrova. Mm-hmm. So that's what I found out. But we don't do that in English.
You didn't find out they're related, though?
I assume they're not, because there were a bunch of people with the same last name. So it's like a English, the common English last name. So then I looked it up. What English words are son of? Like English surnames?
This is the thing you did research for on this podcast.
And it's the ones you think of, like Harrison and Anderson. Those are all last names that in English mean son of. Also, Mick, Mac, Fitz, all those Irish ones, those are also son of, in case you didn't know that. But in English, there's not daughter of. They don't change anything up like that. So I think that's kind of lame. We don't have differences like that. You're looking at me like I've wasted my time, but this is important information.
This is like my Godzilla question. Why is why is everyone else their last name, but Emiko's her first name? I don't understand. Nobody wants to explain that to me. Possibly because the podcast hasn't come out yet.
You've got to do some research, just like I did. What does this one say?
I guess I could have done research.
Oh, I also found out that in Spain, you have to, by law.
It rains mainly on the plane.
That's right, it does.
I found that out too.
Also, by law, you have to keep your last name even if you're married.
Wow.
You can't change it. You got to keep your name.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, take the patriarchy kind of sucks over here. Why can't we have daughters with different names?
Your wife didn't take your name.
No, my daughter gets my last name, goddammit.
Yeah, that's...
Keep her in the walls.
You won the coin toss.
I don't think we cost the coin. She was so drugged up from the birth that I got to put whatever names I wanted on the certificate.
Apparently, when you see your middle name.
Oh, yeah. What was her middle name? Bro, I wanted to be Unpossible.
Yeah, but it's Rex.
Mm-hmm. From Atomic. Our foreign correspondent helped me name her, actually.
Yeah.
And I stuck an 8 on the end of Sam's name. Kitty really didn't want me to, but I put a...
Is that official?
It's official. It's VIII.
He's Samuel the 8th?
Samuel Jane the 8th.
Wow. Does he know that?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it makes him happy.
Now, do you want to tell people what your plan was? Even though it's a plan you have no control over and no ability to see come to fruition?
My plan to name my kids?
No, you were going to name one the 8th, and you hope that they name their son the 7th.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a son. We're not, English. We're taking a note from the Bulgarians. It can be a daughter. So he's got the name the 8th. Whatever kid he has, he names that kid the 7th. And then they name their kid the 6th. And we go back to the 9th.
By now, you've already lost all control over this.
I have no way to enforce this. I have no money to leave.
You'll have no way to know what even happened.
No, but my dream would be someday there's some kid sitting in a class having to do one of those family trees like you used to. And the teacher will say, but the numbers are going backwards and all the names are different. And he'll be like, or she will be like, my great-great-great-great-grandfather was an idiot. I will laugh and I will laugh.
I think it's incredible you think that hundreds of years from now we'll still have schools.
We might not have one in the next couple of years if things keep going.
Or people or anything.
Well,
we'll still have Black Friday, though.
I plan on going for a robot, but I don't think Black Friday is a thing anymore. Well, I'm about to counter my point by I went to the movie on Black Friday, that Trolls 3 movie, and I went to the mall. And it was okay because we went to an early showing. When we got out of there, holy Jesus, it was packed.
Well, Ken's going to call in the next minute or so. Do you want to give your Trolls band together review?
I like movies as a general rule. I like going to movies because I don't go to movies a lot. I don't want my kids to hear this because they loved that movie, but god damn, this was the first time I almost fell asleep in a theater like my father used to do. There's nothing to that movie. We're jumping to another song. Hey, we're going to sing a song on our way to the next song, and let's put a song in the middle of it. And it's all songs from, the 90s probably? The early aughts? I don't know. I couldn't stand anything I watched. And I like Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick. Oh, there was one good part. The bad guy at the end. Hold on, I got to remember this.
It's better than Psycho.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. There was another part too I left. But the bad guy, they're stealing troll magic to be popular on the internets with their music. They suck the life force out of them. The one guy has a change of heart, but they get caught at the end, and he's like, but I had my classic change of heart. And they're like, well, you did all these things. And they list all his crimes, and he says, fair enough, to jail I go.
Have I ever told you my idea for these children's movies?
Is it as good as my plan to name people backwards?
Here it comes. My plan for these children's movies is that every 25 minutes or so, there should be a false ending and then a black screen for a minute so that people can just take their kids out of the theater if they want to pretend that's the ending.
That would be pretty solid. All right, we got our foreign correspondent calling in. Hello?
Why, hello.
Hey. Johnson. What's going on?
Not much. How you doing? Is everyone still talking?
Yeah, we just finished talking. We just finished talking about sleepaway camp again, so we don't need to get into it.
Oh, great. Great. It brings up many, many points that I'm going to make.
We spent the whole time talking about it.
Yeah.
Where would you like me to start?
Well, this was give us your background, because you were the one who, way back when, you were like, let's watch Sleepaway Camp and talk about it. You like Sleepaway.
That is not what I said.
What did you say?
This is why I don't blame Pete so much.
Because I'm an idiot?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, because you just don't always know the situation. That's the point.
Jersey Shore guy?
You're the one that goes, listen, this is very upsetting. And if you remember, I just listened to the Thanksgiving podcast with Kitty going crazy about you guys almost leaving her out of the Thanksgiving thing, imagine my rage and fury when that not only happened to me, but also sleepaway camp, which was really my thing. Because I'll tell you what I saw when I was a kid. I saw it at a sleepover, and that final green-tinted penis is stuck in my head, which is probably why I say penis so much. So
Origins.
let's stop piling on Ken about his PTSD over this, because that's what it is. That and being put to host a show, and you said that's the biggest fear you have about the podcast.
I never released that episode.
The one that is buried.
Yes, but it seems like I was in the room walking around naked the way you guys leave it. Do you know what I'm saying?
In my head, you were, Ken.
Because you keep bringing it up. I'm the penis guy. Penis, cock and balls, whatever you want to say. You know what? Everything I ever said was true. It's not like a guy in the movie theater bathroom didn't walk up from behind me while I'm looking in the mirror with Johnson hanging out and like just very nonchalantly walk up to the sink next to me. It's not like that didn't happen. It's about movies, sort of.
Yeah. It was in a movie theater.
And Black Cock Vodka.
I forgot about that one. Exactly. And I didn't want to be racist. I mean, I'm all about inclusion, which is why I wanted to be in on the Thanksgiving, or no, not the Thanksgiving, the sleepaway camp with the tranny stuff and all that. I got to say,
I'm sensitive, you know.
I can tell.
The tranny. Yeah.
When you called while we were watching Thanksgiving, I was sitting there saying, "Oh no!" You're like, "I saw it," and I'm like, "Uh-oh, this can't be good."
Saw it before you.
You did, but I talked about it before you.
It's true.
Yeah, apparently.
So you saw Sleepaway Camp at a sleepover when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And
at my cousin's house.
It clearly is stuck in your head.
I was like 8.
Well, Ken,
I was like 8. Oh, man, it was awesome. I got to agree. Yeah.
Did you enjoy our discussion of Sleepaway Camp?
I did, actually. I thought you made some good points, which I didn't know needed to be made.
Well, you're all the way overseas. You don't know what has to be said. What's going on over here? No,
you're right. I kind of do, which is it's mind blowing to me every time I think about it. Because I used to be in the tranny business. I probably taken more money from trannies than anyone you know.
That was when you were in LA, right?
No, that's right. I worked at a transsexual sell your body newspaper. And I processed their ads,
You also went to a Thanksgiving, if I recall correctly, a Thanksgiving dinner.
I was invited to a tranny Thanksgiving, a transgender. What are they called now?
I'm not sure which one you went to where you were working.
Trans Thanksgiving.
This was 20 years ago, so trans Thanksgiving is probably the best way to say it.
That's what I mean.
See, it's all coming back around.
I was afraid I was going to be the one that's getting stuffed with you. You know what I mean? But anyways, yes, I was invited. I had a lot of friends there who would come in every week and give me money so I could put in their sex ads. And
that's LA.
Do you know what a Wretchen Jack?
What?
You know what a Wretchen Jack is?
I spell it.
WRETCH, and Jack as in Uncle Jack.
Use it in a sentence.
Oh. I'll come over and we can Wretchen Jack.
Ooh.
For $45.
I think it means tidy up.
Well, the price is much higher now. It has to do with vomit and somebody's private parts.
Oh. That seems pretty standard, though. This was pre-internet, though.
Huh?
This was all pre-internet, though. So, like, vomit and genitals seem like a normal thing these days.
What? Are you kidding me?
Well, man, I'll send you some websites later.
No. Please don't, Pete.
All right. So what did you think? You enjoyed the movie. Let's try to bring this back around. What was it about the movie that has stuck in your memory that let you...
Do you remember how angry Kitty was, though? Do you remember that?
Angry about Thanksgiving? Or angry at me in general?
Yeah, about Thanksgiving. Imagine what I deleted.
Those 3 deleted messages.
Messenger. Oh, man.
I'm assuming they were compliments of how good we covered the episode.
Well, I thought you did a good job. I kind of agree with you because I don't know if I can control myself, obviously. But still, I was angry. I was super angry. But I lost my train of thought.
Choo choo.
Say something else.
Well, so then we went and saw Thanksgiving, which I called you and said, "Hey, we're watching Thanksgiving. If you want to try to watch that, you can come on the podcast." And that's
you didn't do that.
I did. And then you called me. Yeah, I said, "Hey, we're going to watch it. So maybe you can make the episode." But as soon as we watched it, we went ahead and recorded without you.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's
I
like
wasn't
you didn't
told
call
any
me
of that.
before you did the podcast.
I wasn't told
Well,
any of that.
That's Pete's fault.
That one is Pete's fault.
That's typical Pete.
It is. I don't know why anyone listens to me about anything.
But we do have a rule, though, about the four of us all being in the same episode because it's always kind of not going great.
Oh, you, Kitty, Ken, and I.
No, we did okay the second time. We did okay the second time.
We did okay.
Got to that one, but there is kind of a. You're right. I know what you're saying.
Pete loves to talk over Kitty.
Just too many people.
Yeah, Pete loves to talk over Kitty, and it's when you're in the mix and you can't see that it's happening, then you just jump in because the timing's a little off. It doesn't work very good because the three of you, because Pete loves to talk over Kitty.
Oh yeah, there's that, and the timing is a little off, and I can't see anybody's expression, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Like now, I have no clue. That's like I'm in a casino without a clock.
Well, we'll paint the picture for you. We're sitting in Pete's living room. Upstairs.
Oh, you're in the living room.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is staring at me.
Cat's asleep over there on top of his cat thing. The window's open and the sun's coming in, even though it's cold outside. And we're just waiting for you to get to the point on Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, Sleepaway Camp. Well, let me say this. All this hullabaloo online that you were talking about on your podcast, I thought it was good, I'll be honest. So, yeah, Silence of the Lambs, they did the same thing, except that they actually did it in a way where it was like, hey, this confused gendered dude, he's a real killer, he's a real bastard.
Yep.
Where Sleepaway Camp was just kind of like, holy shit, it was a dude, it was a kid, it was a boy, or whatever. And so Silence of the Lambs gets a pass for some reason because Jodie Foster's some sort of LGBTQ star or something. I don't know. Answer that, everyone.
I didn't make it.
I don't have an answer to that because I didn't think about it.
I'm just saying nobody's pissing and moaning about Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins, all these big stars because they're all big stars.
You're right. I was thinking more of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Which part was that?
The ending where Einhorn is Feigl. Feigl is Einhorn. That was the.
Finkel.
What's that? Finkel. Feigl. Finkel. Feigl. Yeah, that's the parallel. Yeah, I forgot all about the Silence of the Lambs one, but you're right. That seems like it should have been
the best. The killer's the best because he's so messed up, and he puts his weenie between his legs. It's like, I'd fuck me. Fuck me. He's looking in there.
I did that to Kitty. Great. Do I remember it? I put on her bathrobe and I tucked
I remember
it in.
You did that. You did that a long time ago.
That's right. You were there.
Weirdo, dude. I wasn't there. You told me about it.
I was very proud.
Dude, I would never be on your podcast if I saw it. I'm pretty sure I'd go run screaming into traffic the minute that happened.
But just think, you'd have another penis story.
Well, I don't need any more. I got a bunch.
Apparently so. And I keep helping you out with these. I don't know what I'm doing here.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not necessary to talk about it all the time because you guys got real dirty on your last podcast. It really made me blush.
I don't know what the last.
He's talking about the Thanksgiving episode.
I don't remember the Thanksgiving episode.
The Thanksgiving one was just like, can you guys please keep it out of the gutter? Seriously, I'd like to play this in the car with my children, but apparently I can't.
At one point, Kitty had to say, why did this episode end up being like this? And I said, because we mentioned Ken at the beginning.
You blamed me. You blamed me.
You put penises in our heads.
That's not my preferred place for that either.
That ain't the first time I've done it.
What did you think of Thanksgiving?
I thought it was okay. I think the problem was it's like you make a movie from a preview, and that's kind of hard. And the preview was great. I remembered it, and when it came out, I was echoing in my head, but I couldn't figure out where I saw it. And then I was like, it's Grindhouse. When I found that out, I was like, oh yeah. I thought that would be a good one. So I thought it was pretty good, but I think it was very Screamish, like copying off of the Scream, where like I think it even at some point all the kids are like, we're all in this together. Who can you trust? Thing. It's just like, all right, Okay, got it.
That's not one of the aspects of Scream. I just want to throw that out there. As one of the world's foremost Scream experts, that's not one of the aspects of the movie Scream.
No, it is. It is. They're always like, "Oh, but can you trust this dude?" Like it's like, well, it's just us.
That
like
you're describing an Agatha Christie novel.
No,
that's an aspect of any whodunit.
I saw the last Scream, and they basically say the same thing.
Oh, okay. The last. I thought you meant the original.
No. I'm talking about the last one. I don't know. I don't really remember the original. I remember it was good, but I just don't remember it for word. But the last Scream I saw, they were like, "Well, who can you trust?" kind of thing. And then it was just kind of...
That's every whodunit. That's dating back to all the Agatha Christie novels. It's always been that way.
Yeah, it's not that great. I like that Cabin Fever. I like Eli Roth a lot in terms of... Just because I like Cabin Fever. And Inglourious Basterds, like, such a waste of talent of all sorts, so I'm not going to get into that. But the Jew Bear thing was stupid to me.
I like him in that one, though. I like him
I didn't like him. I'm just thinking, why am I watching a Quentin Tarantino that movie that's just okay? And then I saw Django and I go, why am I watching one that's 20 minutes too long? And then there's one other one, but there's like three where it's like you're forced to make the movies. Then he finally made The Hateful Eight, thank God. And
that is the worst movie he's ever made.
Which one?
The Hateful Eight. We've been over this.
You're crazy. I've never
seen
good.
it.
He fucking wrote a play. And then he put it in the giant Panoscope Vision, and it doesn't make any sense because he wrote a fucking one-act play. It's fucking terrible.
Listen, that's
just 8 people sitting in a cabin talking for 3 fucking hours, and he knows it's boring as shit.
Reservoir Dogs.
He knows it's boring as shit. It doesn't have any of the cleverness of Reservoir Dogs. He knows it's boring as shit because at one point he has to have Channing Tatum pop out of the basement just to be like, "Oh, something happened in this movie."
Well, now I want to see this movie.
Dude, it's good. It's very good. I was...
And at least in Reservoir Dogs, they go to a diner once.
Yeah, exactly. So it's basically Reservoir Dogs, to be honest, but they did a good job. I like that. I didn't watch it at the beginning because the stagecoach part was a little bit... I was just like, I don't see where this is going. Because they're in a stagecoach. But once they got into the cabin, I was totally in. I really enjoyed it. Really liked it. But anyways, let's get away from the
Quentin Tarantino. Yeah,
the Quentin Tarantino stuff.
Bringing it back to Eli Roth.
Yeah, that was Eli Roth. But anyways, it's just a waste of time. Okay, I'll say this. I thought it was interesting. You guys thought the script was so bad. I don't really remember it that well. I remember the kill scenes being awesome. Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, okay.
And so I didn't remember the script being bad. I remember it being sort of insane, and that's kind of how I look at like summer camps in general. It's sort of insanity, you know. It's just like a bunch of kids in a cabin in the summer in the woods. It's kind of like just like Lord of the Flies nuttiness. And then I think if you have an awesome ending, if you have an ending like that, and if you also have parts that people can go crazy in, I think that makes it a decent script. So I don't know. I'd have to watch it again to see what you were talking about. But I think that
there's a 25-minute baseball game.
Which, hey,
man,
man,
not a good script.
That's summer camp.
It's okay. That's okay.
I'll agree with you on that. That's where you get
your best line.
It is where you get the best line.
Exactly. Like I'll watch a movie.
I just don't know that I needed to see the teams play like a doubleheader. It just seemed like it seemed a little too much.
Hey, think about it this way: baseball could technically last forever. I mean, 20 minutes, pretty quick.
Thank God that game could still be going on, and we could still be watching it. It might never end.
It might still be going on. Well, that could have been the last scene in the movie.
I think a lot of the players died throughout the course of the movie.
Yeah, well,
can you believe
editing?
Can you believe Pete had never seen the movie before?
Yes, I can, because it was pretty. It was kind of under the radar, though, to be honest, for a long time.
That's true. Everybody always saw it because a friend showed it to them, and Pete didn't have friends growing up.
No,
he had a brother,
a younger one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the. Speaking of it, I saw that on VHS, and I still remember the poster I've seen since then. But I love this because it makes no sense. Kind of like the script is just madness. It's like a knife through a sneaker. It's like, when the fuck does that happen? Why would that happen? How would you get the knife through the sneaker? Why would you waste the time? You're a killer. I guess it's symbolic,
Of what?
You think that the script had symbolism in it?
I think it did.
I did. I think. You guys mentioned the nudity, and the thing I would say about that was like, in my head I saw nipples in the shower, but apparently I had to look it up, and I was imagining them.
The male nudity.
I had put those on the. Yeah, but the male nudity in general, I think they were very conscious conscious of
Conscientious.
Yeah, but okay, because
Coleslaw.
they did some pedophilia stuff. They did the gender stuff, and I think that wasn't not on purpose. I think it was on purpose, but for the fact of this is going to be a shocker.
Yes.
And we're going to do some shocking stuff. It wasn't political. Of
Things
course
were
it
done
wasn't.
on
Nothing was political in the 80s.
Things were done
Nothing was political.
Well, I disagree with that, but
I'll agree with you, Ken.
things were done on purpose. They just weren't done for the purpose people think they were.
Exactly. They weren't done for the purpose of like posturing or something.
They weren't
bullshit.
done for 2023 purpose. They were done for 1981 purpose.
Well, they were done for. I want somebody to sit down and watch
83.
this movie purpose. You know, I want the word to get out that this is a crazy ass movie. I think that's all the purpose there was, and you're right about that. But I do think, like, obviously, like, I think they were in line with the fact that we're not gonna make this just a boob movie with kids running through the woods and that kind of thing. But we're gonna show some like real pervy stuff. We're gonna show some gay stuff because they did the two guys, I guess, and then in the swimming hole. So anyways, that's kind of what I thought about that.
Yes. All that stuff's in there just to be controversial and shocking.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
to be shocking, but it's also a scary thing, though, in a weird way. Like, pedophilia is super scary, right? Like, that's a super scary deal.
It is.
Yeah, it's super scary, man. And do that in the 80s, I think, was kind of that was like, whoa, that's creepy, man. Like, even then, it was like, you know, crossing some lines.
I don't like watching kids get hurt or killed, but in Sleepaway Camp, I was kind of rooting for them to get hurt and killed because all of them were terrible people. Like, there weren't good people in that movie.
I don't really remember it that well, to be honest, other than
one was a
boobs, like I
pedophile.
said, and the penis.
Right, the implied nipples.
Yeah, and the pedophile part I do remember, actually, after listening to you guys talk about it. I do remember that.
What's weird about that scene with the cook is that it's not played for menacing. It's shot in bright lights. It's played just like every other scene in the movie. It's like the most natural thing, and it's so strange. But it's also why I go back to some parts of this movie have expert craft in them and some have none, and that's why it's such a fascinating movie to me. There isn't a director in the world with any competence that would shoot that scene like that, but the special effects department is fucking hitting grand slam after grand slam. There isn't an editor in the world.
No, it's more shocking because of that.
I disagree.
It is more shocking because it is in the day. It's out in the open.
I'm not saying because it's in the day. I'm saying he just blocked it like, now you walk in here and do this like it's every other scene in the movie. It doesn't make any sense from even trying to get an engagement out of it. No editor in the world would leave that baseball scene the way it is. But
I would.
But
I would.
you have
Make
some
it longer.
But the director of photography is actually shooting it really well.
In a row, just fall balls.
What were you saying, Brian?
The director of photography is actually shooting it really well. It's why the movie's so fascinating. There's some really talented people working with some really untalented people.
Come on now. Come on. No. But everybody must have known, like, this is insane. They must have read the script before they signed on. And
I don't know that there was a script.
Paycheck, but maybe there wasn't. Maybe it was like, it was pure art.
Because unintentional or not, like when you were talking about the broad daylight, talking about pedophilia, it's just like the most natural thing. And you're right, it is creepy because they just bring it up. The one cook's joking to the other one. Like, that's not normal, but they're acting like it is.
Because it's shot in light.
But
That's the problem.
I've been in an elevator with people talking about that here.
Sleepaway camp or pedophilia? Or both?
Pedophilia. About one of the kids in their class.
What?
Like, dude.
I'm not.
Oh, dude, yeah. I don't want to get into it.
All right, yeah, that's fucked up.
I was like staring at people doing that. I had to tell the boss. I was like, dude, you gotta get rid of this dude. This dude is, and he didn't get rid of him actually. But
did he dump a boiling corn water on him? Did he dump a big vat of boiling water for corn on him? Because that's how they solved it in Sleepaway Camp.
We should have thrown him down the elevator shaft. I don't know what we could have done. No, but anyways, he's doing damage somewhere else, I'm sure.
I'm not saying the pedophilia scene is awkward because it's shot in light. I'm saying because just like other scenes of the movie where Ricky gets to camp and the friend just walks from the right of the screen to the left and says, "Hey, Ricky, did you see what's her name got boobs?" It's shot the same way. He walks in and he goes, "Oh, I'm going to give you something." And it's like, it's the most kindergarten-like understanding of how to block a scene. But it's also a scene that's supposed to be impactful. And it's still shot like, "Hey, did you see? Meg's here." And it's like, what? It's given all the reverence of that, and it's since it's the catalyst for the first murder in the thing. It's very weird that they didn't like try to do anything with it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, you're right.
I haven't seen it in so long. I can't really, like disprove that, obviously, or even say anything against it.
You're right, though,
But,
Brian. The shots are all the same. It's all the same kind of shot, which somehow, having never seen the movie, it still sticks in my head. I remember this movie, and I can see why you remember it from being 8 years old, and it's such a thing. And
You never forget it.
Right. I'm not going to forget that movie anytime soon. There's so many disparate things that add up to something, and it has no point. It's not trying. There's no message to it. It like you're both right. 100%.
No, it's not about message. It's about we're gonna make a crazy ass slasher movie. I mean, that's what they did. They just pulled out all the stops, and you might be right about. Obviously, I haven't seen it, and as a kid, I wasn't thinking in those terms, film language or anything like that. But I mean, like you say, it's like the kill scenes, the certain departments. But for me, like in terms of script and where I kind of like the vibe of the movie is the fact that it is so unpredictable and it is so off the wall. It's just like it is just sort of this insane thing, but it's well done in so many ways that I kind of like the fact that it's a little weird and unpredictable, and that these guys are talking about this, and you're just kind of sitting there watching, and going, "Should I even be watching this? I don't know. It's weird."
And the filming itself is insane. How they block the shot. Everything about that movie just smacks of insanity.
But
I just think
but
I feel like
Brian said, he said that the cinematographer was good too.
I thought it was really
there
good.
were good shots.
This is
so blocking that shot is weird, right?
The way I would
so
put
who
it.
did that? Was that the same?
I don't know. The way I would put it is that, like, imagine if Christopher Nolan was making Oppenheimer.
I hate him.
What?
We'll get to that later. Then
No. I hate Dunkirk. It's the worst movie ever.
All right, just move on. Anyway, imagine he's making Oppenheimer, and he's like, "I'm going to get the best cinematographer in the world, and I'm also going to get
the worst best boy in the world."
What?
All right, we're just going to let it go, I guess.
No, I want to hear your point.
I'm never going to get the point.
Keep trying.
Sorry, Brian. But
We'll be
Do you
good.
think the best boy blocked that scene?
He's going to hire the Academy Award-winning cinematographer. He's going to, Roger Deakins is going to shoot my next movie. And also I'm going to get a script from, like, the garbage can. But don't worry, because the special effects are going to come from, like, Rick Baker Studios, and they're going to be elite. But also the sound design is going to be done by a guy in his garage. Like, that's what this is. It doesn't make any sense. You have masterclass people, and you have people that don't know how to do the job. And I don't know that you can recreate it without trying to hire those people.
I disagree only because you can't make anything with a really horrible script. I think you can fix a lot of things with so scripts. Acting can really like boost a movie in a lot of ways. But if you got a real bad script, I'm not saying there's not flaws or there's not like okay, so the blocking of that scene, was that in the script or was that the cinematographer?
No, that's most likely the director. But my point is this.
Okay.
My point is, the things I think you like about the movie come down to the script having no purpose and no idea what it's doing. It's just like, what would be funny if she stood up and had a dick. That's not a good script when there's no purpose to it. It's not really good writing. It is what it is, but it's why it's so unique.
Yeah,
let me explain to you why this is a bad script.
Yeah.
Let me explain to you why it's a bad script. In the opening scene of the movie, they're on the water.
Yeah.
Who are these characters?
Yeah.
Who are they related to each other? What is the purpose of this? They never explain it. You have to kind of infer some things from later on. Is one of them Martha's husband? I think. But they never really say that. So I think the guy that dies is Martha's husband and his lover's on the beach because you only see that in a flashback later. But who is he to the story? That's bad writing.
No, because Brian, when I go to the beach and I see people in a boat, I don't know who the fuck they are either. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's just reality. It's just like, hey, guess what? Watch this world. Watch this crazy world. And sometimes we'll shoot it great, and sometimes we'll shoot it like shit. It's gonna be just like you and go to summer camp. Sometimes you're on the bottom bunk, sometimes you're on the top. Then I don't know. I don't know because I haven't seen. Like I said, I haven't seen it in so long, but I do love it. And you're right. I shouldn't have been invited to your podcast, but I'm still pissed. I'm still so pissed. Not only that, I'll tell you what, and I'll end the sleepaway camp thing here. At first, I was like, what? I saw sleepaway camp, right? I go to the scare value thing on the Spotify. scarevalue.com, and I see Sleepaway Camp, and I go, oh, fuck, what? What? No, this was weeks ago. It must have been, because they don't never do anything on time. And I go, well, no one told me. And then I go, okay, something happened. Don't know what. I'll wait until I hear my name, because I definitely get a shout out for talking about this. And this is what we skipped over, and this is what I forgot. Okay, so I brought up this movie a long time ago, and I was like, we should watch that. And Martha was there, and you were there, and Pete was there too. And you were all three going, oh, that's too, Wilton, Daisy.
This was specifically directed at me, it seems, because I just
and the climate and all this stuff. And I'm like, God damn it, who cares? What is all this nonsense? And I was going to put that in my top 10 movie list. It was written down. I could send it to you now. And I crossed it out because I was like, I don't want to have to not talk about it because it's too controversial. And then anyways, I see it, and I don't even hear my goddamn name. Oh.
So you must have been excited in the Thanksgiving episode that you came up. And then you got mad about that, too.
Yes, because all you did was I talked about dicks. And then it became like, oh, we didn't invite Ken onto the other one because he talked about dicks too much. It's like, I can obviously not talk about penises if I don't have to. But, like,
if
Sleepaway Camp.
When did you have
camp,
to?
You have to.
That's why you weren't invited on.
But Sleepaway Camp, you have to, which is why you should invite. And for all of my background,
we should have invited our dick expert. He's right.
It is true.
We should have invited our dick expert.
Anyways.
You weren't wrong. It is a very fun movie. Like you were right. It's a good one. I don't know if it'd be in my top 10 list because I don't have a top 10 list, but it'd be up there.
I can earnestly say that there's never been a movie like it. It's one of a kind.
It's great. It is great. It was. I couldn't go to sleep that night, or it took a while. It took a while. That sleepover
was it scary for you? Like the movie?
The kill scenes, it was really good. It was scary. I do remember it being scary because the kill scenes were so good. But I was like, damn, this is a crazy ass movie. But then the really disturbing part was the stuff like the pedophile stuff.
And you're 8 years old at the time.
Yeah, I was either 8 or 9. Yeah, I was definitely not even 10 yet. So yeah, I was probably 8. I'm thinking 8. Yeah,
that's probably when I saw it too.
Good movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good
All
movie.
Right. So I'm the only one who came in as an adult watching it years and years after.
And
the
you were
fact.
still like that.
I feel like you had the same experience either way.
I think
I'm not kidding.
Like,
I think everyone has the same first experience.
But when you're a kid, it's got to hit different.
I think it hit exactly the same.
I think so. I don't know. I think it did. I think it less. I think it really was like whoa. I don't think I'd be like whoa. I can sleep after anything.
A more Keanu Reeves whoa or a Joey Lawrence whoa? Which
I was Joey Lawrence whoa at that time.
All right.
And then I think today it'd definitely just be like.
Let's get to the important question, Ken.
Yes.
Was my Kihei Kwan impression racist?
Who's that?
All right. See, it wasn't because he couldn't even tell who it was.
I did listen. Who's that anyway?
Short round. From Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And then he was in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once just recently. And now I think he was in Loki season 2.
And he's Data from the Goonies.
And Data from the Goonies.
It wasn't if that was supposed to be an Asian impression, it wasn't very good. So I would say no.
Then that's not racist. So there you go.
All right.
Confirmed not racist by the foreign guy we know.
Yeah, I got some Asian people in my house right now.
Well, don't play it for them.
Well, they won't get it. They'll be like, "What's he doing? Like, is he need medicine?"
I'm working. I'm workshopping it. I'm gonna get a good
one. Thanksgiving, I did see it. And you guys want to ask me any questions? I did listen to your Thanksgiving podcast. I missed like the last 10 minutes.
Did you guess the killer?
I did go through my mind as I was watching because I was like, "What would be the best?" I go, "Well, the best would be if Patrick." Okay, this is the thing I did want to bring up about that. The best would be if Patrick Dempsey was the killer, the sheriff, right? Because it's Patrick Dempsey, period, end of story. But I'm just like, this is the thing that pisses me off about that movie the most. And it's not that I don't like it. But the thing that bothered me was when they were at the high school, when 2 of them got kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
You could clearly see, and this was not down to editing, because I did hear the editing thing come up, and I get that. But I distinctly remember them getting kidnapped, them cutting back to the other 2 who were waiting for them, and then behind them you could see McDreamy and the other dude, the new cop.
Because I saw
they were behind.
No, because I saw it twice, And I know this is what I meant about the editing.
Because I remember what Ken's talking about. That's the way. Okay.
So did I. That's when I watched the second time. I paid attention to this for this very reason. Because I was like, how could it be him? Because this happens multiple times. You see him before she goes into the school talking to her and the friends. Right. He's like, got to get you out of here. Right. And then he just disappears off screen. And in the background, you do see two cops. This is the point of it. Neither one of them is him. But the reason they do it, they're bent over the car. You see their backs, but it's clearly not him. And the reason they do it is to be like, well, it can't be him. It takes it out of your mind. Because then as soon as it's over, who's the first fucking face you see out there? Patrick Dempsey. And I'm like, this is how they cheated it with the editing. That's what I meant by cheating. It's I would say even unfair the way they edited the movie together. Because they do this again later with the Thanksgiving dinner, where it's like he's leading the task force. Then you just don't go back to the task force for a while. So he's had to move 2 times. He's gone from cooking the wife to back to work, back to the thing, back to work. And it's like, that's how they keep cheating it. And I'm like, it's kind of an unfair way they do it, but it makes the reveal fun for me.
Turkeys take a few hours. I got to imagine a stepmom takes a bit longer.
They cheated it so badly that they want you to think that you're seeing him out there because like the cops are still out there. But like it is the biggest cheat I've seen, but I kind of enjoyed it because it really did throw me off the scent completely.
Let me ask you this about the high school scene, because what I remember, I only saw it once, so I would have gone back and looked at that too. What I remember was seeing the sides of them. Remember seeing one the taller guy, the new guy, and then I seen the who I thought was Patrick Dempsey on the left, and the other guy was on the right, and they were talking to each other from a side view, not from like their backs.
See, I'm remembering them. They were
the window.
It's their backs. It's like 3/4, and you're seeing 2 people talking behind a car, like in the back of a car, not back of a car. You know what I mean? The car, and they're behind the car, standing there talking.
I see them by the side door of the car. The car's parked out, and
that's what I mean.
By the side door.
It's not him, and it's why it's one of those things where I'm watching it and I'm like, you dirty dogs. You've pushed this as far as believable can be to be like, because the good news is he's in the area, so like, he could just slip in another door and put the costume on. But the other part of it is like, you want me to believe beyond a doubt that I've seen him, and I'm like, you're cheating this like a little too much, I think.
I think so too. I got to think that because it did cross my mind right there.
Yeah, that's what bothered me.
I don't think they needed to do that much cheating. I don't think they need to do that much cheating.
I don't think the whodunit aspect was the point of the movie. The point was, look at how we can kill the people. All the kill scenes were what we were waiting for, right?
Yeah. The clown in the parade was awesome.
It was great.
That was the best part. That was the best part for me. I love the clown in the parade.
You're not wrong.
It was a good one. I mean, there was a good kill. There's a lot of characters. My favorite part, though, other than that was my favorite kill. I did like I love the idea of using Black Friday. And I thought the whole thing was going to be during Black Friday, to be honest.
See, I thought it was going to be during Thanksgiving.
Well, I know it was called Thanksgiving, but I just figured, well, the thing is, it's all connected, right? Like, I just kind of thought, like, they're going to, I don't know.
Pete told me on this podcast that Black Friday is not a thing anymore, and then he told me about going to Black Friday. So that's what we were doing before you came out.
Both are true.
Oh wait, I was going to ask because that's what I said to my wife. I said I wonder if Black Friday's still a thing because of the internet, like everything.
It's not really
online. It's not. I wouldn't think so, right?
But people still go out for some reason. But there's no more of that. Hey, we stand in line on Thursday night and wait to go buy things at 6 a.m. when they open. But there's a shit ton of people still out. There's not really sales because all the sales are the normal sales and it's on Monday online, right? And Cyber Monday is not a thing because Kitty was saying something to me about putting something on hold for Cyber Monday and then realizing she could buy it the same day for the same price. So I don't think any of this is real. I found that out
on Sunday. I got all the deals on Sunday too. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can tell Kim, I do not believe that it's really a thing anymore. But people just do it out of habit. Like, oh, we all need to go to the mall and stand there in each other's way.
Yeah, I kind of want to piss on this movie a little bit because I didn't really like some of the characters. Where it was just a little too much heavy on the characters and light on the. I mean, they weren't bad, but a little bit of light on like their development and stuff. Like, I guess I kind of liked the baseball. I wish the baseball guy had come out and become more of a question mark as to being the killer. Like, I would have liked to have seen that more. It just seemed like that was a golden opportunity to have everybody think it was him and then do your McDreamy thing. Because if you emphasized him more, then you wouldn't have to do the editing cheat either. Not that I really cared that much. But that's what definitely threw me off of the McDreamy thing was that. But if you had the baseball kid come out to be more seemingly, a possible suspect, I would have been happier with that, to be honest, because I just felt like there's a lot of characters. There's some good kill scenes. There was no boring parts, so it was a good movie. But like, I just wish they had done more with, instead of cheating on the editing a little bit in a way, bringing somebody to the forefront, being like, oh, it's got to be him, like that kind of thing. I don't know how you guys feel about that though.
I don't disagree. I don't think it's no sleepaway camp. Let's just say that right now.
It is no sleepaway camp.
But then again, few things are. But what it was,
nothing else is.
It wasn't. For what it was, it wasn't bad. It was just what do you say, an old-fashioned slasher movie. Old school slasher movie.
Which got into theaters, which is crazy.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, had they done the Grindhouse thing, would it like that effect like they did with what was the other Grindhouse preview? Machete. Yeah, Machete. They did more of that 70s thing, which I did like, but I don't think that would translate to as big of an audience.
No. Anything on Godzilla before we go?
Oh yeah, sorry. Godzilla. Oh, I had a toy when I was a kid. Godzilla toy. It was like 1.5 feet tall, and its arm shot off. And it shot red flames out of its mouth if you pulled the lever. Awesome.
Wow.
Jealous much? Jealous. Yes, I am.
Yeah. And I have a Godzilla on my desk right now.
That's so cool. I'm so jealous all over the place. But I forgot to ask you when you first came on, what kind of Nic Cage news do you want, Ken?
Oh,
do you want news?
Yeah.
Do you want a knick-knack fact? Or do you want to quit? I'm never going to leave you wanting Nic Cage. You want a knick-knack fact, some news, or you want a quiz? A Cage quiz, hotshot.
Don't make me say Cage quiz, hotshot, because I really want a knick-knack fact. But okay, give me the quiz.
Ooh, a Cage quiz. A Cage quiz, hotshot. All right.
I hope it was better than the last one, which is like, what was the last time I saw Gone in 60 Seconds? How would I know that?
Well, that's why you got it wrong, probably. All right, I got one. It's for you too, Brian. Ready? How many Nic Cage movies have colons in the title?
Gone in 60 Seconds? That's one.
There's what? Where's the colon?
Well, famously, there's one
Gone.
for sure. Bad Lieutenant : Port of Call, New Orleans. This is one.
Oh yeah. There you go. That's one.
So I'm gonna say 2, and there's just like a second one I don't know about.
Yeah. I think it's Gone in 60 Seconds. And the 60 seconds is like 0, because it's like 0, 0, 0, 60, not 50, 59. Whatever, you get the idea. Through the clock.
So,
digital clock.
Are you both saying 2?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, we're saying 2.
You are both woefully off. There are, in fact, 9 Nicolas Cage movies.
What?
You ready?
That's true.
Here we go. This one kind of is. It's from 1992.
We're already off to a great start.
Industrial Symphony No. 1: The Dream of the Brokenhearted. It's a Twin Peaks theme performance by somebody. Blah blah blah. But that's the only one. There's 8 solid ones. Ready?
What? Go back to what you just said to me.
Industrial Symphony No. 1: The Dream of the Brokenhearted. It's a Twin Peaks theme performer experimental concert film.
I think we have to have a long discussion about what movies are.
But anyway, here we go. Christmas Carol, the movie, the movie. National Treasure, Book of Shadows. Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. Ghost Rider, A Spirit of Vengeance. Vengeance, A Love Story. Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. The Croods, A New Age. And USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage.
Ooh, Pete, you've outdone yourself on the hotshot quiz Cage thing.
Cage quiz hotshot, thank you. I worked really hard on that one. 9 films.
Hey, Brian, I bet if you're good, you can get yourself a knick-knack fact.
I already had one. You'll have to listen to the episode.
He got some news. We'll save the knick-knack facts.
You can always edit this out. Give me the knick-knack fact.
He gave us a knick-knack fact himself from earlier.
I did.
You want a knick-knack
fact?
You know what? It's the holidays, Ken. I'll give you a knick-knack fact free of charge.
It's not the holidays. It's December 6th when this is coming out.
You know what?
Listen,
that is the holiday. Oh, I'm listening.
Thanksgiving.
I'm listening.
Huh? To me?
I'm listening to you.
Oh, yeah. No, it is the holiday. Thanksgiving is past. We're in the holidays.
Right. And December 6th is St. Nicholas Day, the holiday of my people who are Dutch. And we hang up stockings and I fill them with oranges. And I'm sorry, St. Nicholas fills them. And you know who the counterpart to St. Nicholas of the Dutch is? Only
question.
Only Krampus. So anyway, what was your question?
What is a heterosexual life partner?
Heterosexual life partner? I don't know, like you guys. You guys are my heterosexual life
He's
partners.
asking about your mom's late friend.
Oh, Liz?
What a bowling partner? Is that a bowling partner? Is
Yeah.
that how they say bowling partner now?
It's two people who I think they would call it a common law marriage back in the day, but they were already married to other people and such. But, oh man, I got so many knick-knack facts. I don't even know. All right.
Okay, get a good one, Pete.
I'm going to give you... All right. Are you ready for this? This is a good one.
I doubt it.
What? His favorite pasta shape is square tube pasta. He had it in a restaurant in San Francisco with Charlie Sheen. And they liked it so much. They liked it so very much, Ken. They went back and they had it again the next day. Square tube pasta.
Are they heterosexual?
I'm so glad we got the quiz. Oh boy,
That part is not.
Are Charlie Sheen and Nic Cage heterosexual life partners?
That might be a different fact.
well, you had a really good knick-knack fact last time. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Oh, they're all really good, Ken. Anything Nicolas Cage does is really good.
Colon. That's the end of the show.
All right, so
oh, he's gonna cut it right there because that was a good ending.
you have hinted to me
That's
that
not true. I'm going to keep in that compliment.
compliments for Pete.
Oh, can I get a plug in then?
Yeah, go nuts.
We need plugs.
Oh yeah. You guys losing your hair.
It hurts because it's true.
I got a plug. Okay, so good, very good Taiwanese movie. It's not a horror movie, but I gotta say it's very good. It's called The Pig, the Snake, and the Pigeon. It's a little. I pay a little homage to Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but it's its own thing. It's definitely its own thing. It's not a Western either, obviously. It's an Eastern. But that movie is really good. So if you ever see it, it's not a horror movie though. But I gotta say this. I like the new Hunger Games. I did see it last week. There was nothing else to see, and we saw the Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games, Snow White and Slim Shady?
Dude, whatever. It was good. I was glad it wasn't like the old ones. That's all I'm going to say. It was good, done well. And I'm going to go see a Southeast Asian one called, in English, I don't know what the Chinese, or what the original title is, but it's called Corpse. Forbidden Corpse. It's about washing bodies of dead people. I'm going to go see it next week, I think.
Ooh. You going to see Godzilla -1?
I once that comes out here, we will definitely go see it. We see all the Godzilla movies.
Cool. Me too. Eventually.
None of this was a plug. This was stuff you saw.
This was you doing your job.
No. The pig, the snake, and the pigeon was the plug.
It's a plug.
The new
for
Hunger
something you have
Games
nothing
also
to
a
do.
semi-plug.
That just for future reference. Those aren't plugs. Those are just, hey, can I mention some things I saw?
But that's foreign corresponding.
But you don't have to actually ask to do either of those things. You can just plug things whenever you want to.
Didn't I plug like the place next door to me before?
What's the place next door to you?
They have the games where they do the draw.
Well,
whatever, the crane game.
Yeah, he did plug that.
He did.
And the Erie County Fair.
Business has gone through the roof.
The Erie County Fair. It is. It's crazy. It's crazy busy over there.
All right. I like it.
You got anything to plug, Pete?
I got nothing to plug. I need to unplug my bathroom sink.
Well, we're going to have some fun stuff coming up on the podcast. Go to the website. The awards show will be in a few weeks, and I heard Ken's working on an alternative award show for us.
I got a lot of great ideas.
All right.
Brian.
So we'll have that episode early in the new year probably too.
We'll have that one right there with Nic Cage's cage match.
And eventually finally watching Night Watch.
Night Watch.
Exactly. It's an episode just for me and Pete.
I love Night Watch. You bastards, you better invite me on. I love Night Watch.
Can you give
me
me
the TV show? Oh, that's Night Court. Oh, I got it wrong. Never mind.